Hello everyone. My name is Suraj, and today I'll be talking about my presentation on deep learning approaches for subgrid scale parameterization in chaotic dynamical systems. And this is a work that was done under the guidance of Dr. Ramesh San. And without further ado, I will start with my presentation. So we know that the one thing that is very common in this turbulence, weather, and climate systems is that they are characterized by multiple spatial and temporal scales, as well as these are the multiphysics systems. Another important thing is that these systems are very high dimensional and highly chaotic in nature. By chaotic, what I mean is that a small perturbation in an initial condition will cause the system to diverge to very different output after some time. And what makes this system really hard is that resolving each and every small scale, or also called as subgrid scale processes, is computationally intractable, and therefore they need to be modeled. This is the image taken from this Nature Climate Change paper, and this basically shows the typical grid that is used in the global circulation model on the left hand side. And on the right hand side, there is the LES simulation on this only a single vertical column at a grid resolution of around 5 meter. And as you can see that if you are actually resolving this like this clouds, the flow is very complex. But basically we do not have the required computational resources to use this 5 meter grid resolution throughout the whole domain. So what is typically done is that we use some kind of the physics-based parameterization for these small-scale subgrid processes. And here x is basically the resolved flow variables, and y is the effect of all the small-scale processes. And there is a kind of physics-based function f that basically maps the resolved flow variables to the effect of unresolved variables. And there is a lot of research done over past decades on this physics-based parameterization, and some of the successful models are Smagorinsky model, dynamic Smagorinsky model, then the structured model like approximate deconvolution model. But one of the major challenge in the climate prediction is that the major source of uncertainty comes from this parameterization of unknown processes. So what we propose in this work is that can we use deep learning method to learn this parameterization instead of assuming prior physical structure over the equation? Can we just learn from that data? And this is not like a new concept. Like this idea dates back to around 20 years back. But one of the things that has really changed is the availability of the computational resources, open source packages for the deep learning, and that has made this recent progress or the recent interest in this data-driven parameterization. And these are the some of the very recent studies that have shown the success of deep learning for parameterization for the weather and climate systems. So first we will start with a very basic incomplete dynamical system. So basically I will try to explain the concept of the parameterization and the data-driven parameterization using a simple Lorentz 63 model. So we know that the x, y, and the z component of the Lorentz 63 model are given by this. But let us assume that we do not know now the evolution of the third equation, that is the z variable. Basically, we do not have this xy minus beta z information for this z variable. So, but we just have like the observation data for the x, y, and z. So then, can we train like a neural network to learn this dynamic of the z variable? And for that, we basically apply the recurrent neural network, particularly long short-term memory neural network architectures. And one of the reason for the application of LSTM is that it has been proven very successful for dynamical system and for the time series prediction, because it can take the effect of the previous temporal information into account for the future state prediction. And then we apply this hybrid neural physics model for the two system. The first one is the basically the weak Lorentz 63 model, and the second one is the strongly chaotic Lorentz model. And if we see the prediction with this hybrid neural physics model, we can see that this hybrid model is successfully able to predict the x, y, and z trajectory for the weakly chaotic system. However, for the very strong chaotic system, it starts diverging at around t equal to 1.5, which corresponds to approximately like Lyapunov time of the 3.5 units, because the largest Lyapunov exponent of this strong chaotic system is around 2.33. And one thing also to note here is that for the weakly chaotic system, the chaos has not started yet. And that might be the reason that we see the LSTM is able to predict accurately, at least up to time t equal to 6, which is at around like 5 year 1 hour time. And but however, as you can see, like for the strong chaotic system, the system starts deviating after some time. And one of the solution to that is like we can use the sequential data simulation, or that is the ideas from the ensemble Kalman filter, which basically makes use of the observations to correct the system and to ensure that we get the accurate forecast. And if we couple this data simulation with our hybrid neural physics model, we see that we get a very good prediction for the strong chaotic system. Like basically the trajectory of the trajectory is almost matching with the true trajectory. And if we compare the statistics in terms of the power spectrum, we also see that there is a very good agreement. The second example that we study is the actual parameterization in two-scale Lorentz model. So this is a model which is used as a test base for testing any new ideas related to parameterization. So in this model, we have this x and y, which x is basically a slow variable, and y is basically the fast variable that are the subgrid processes. So in this case, we actually know the evolution of the y equation, but oftentimes that is not the case. So what we are saying is that can we like learn the neural, like the train the neural network if we have the time series data for the x, or this like gn term, which basically corresponds to the subgrid scale parameterization in the evolution of the x, that is the slow variable. So if we have the time series data for the either from observations or from high fidelity simulation, we can basically like compute this HGS source term, and then we can train the neural network to learn the mapping from resolved flow variables to this HGS term. And once the neural network is trained, we can actually put it into the forecast model, which is given over here. So we assume that we actually know this first part of the equation while computing this SGS term. And if we actually see the results, we see that the LSTM. So we train the neural network from time t equal to 0 to 10, and we try to see the prediction for the forecast period from the 10 MTU to like 20 MTU, basically corresponds to model time unit. And you can see that the LSTM results, like the just the purely data driven parameterizations, starts diverging at around like time equal to around like 11.11, something like that. However, when we use the data simulation, we see that there is an improvement in the actual prediction. And so the third example that we try, like the test framework, is for the Kreisner turbulence. So this is the much more complex example as compared to previous two example, and this is relevant to geophysical flow where the aspect ratio of the flow is very high. And we use the convolutional neural network to learn this SGS forcing term, and we use the vorticity stream function, Smagoronsky and Leaf kernel to learn this SGS pi term. And one thing that we have to do while in the online posterior deployment is to basically clipping of the negative eddy viscosity to ensure stability, as well as we also take the backscatter into account by the filtering operation over here. And so if you see the basically the statistical comparison of the energy spectrum, we see that basically just using the this CNN, this CNN prediction is actually better than the dynamics Magoransky slightly. But even with the data simulation, we can improve it further, and we see this purple line is in a very good agreement with the filter DNA solution. And to summarize, basically, we show that the neural network can effectively learn parameterization of subgrid scale processes. Then also sequential data simulation can be utilized with the goal to achieve improved prediction from by making use of sparse and noisy observations. And the main reason why the data driven subgrid scale parameterizations are attractive is that because they are computationally efficient as compared to the traditional dynamics Magoransky type model. Some of the open questions are still like, can we learn subgrid scale parameterizations directly by using partial and noisy observation? Then also like the transfer learning and physics guided machine learning approaches for the out of sample distribution. That is, there is the disparity in the training and the test data. And also how do these frameworks perform for the more complex geophysical systems? and that is currently the work in progress. And with this, I would like to thank you all, and